What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Weekly Scraps. We had a great main event. The King, the Nigerian Nightmare, is back in the win column. And for me, that's really nice to see. Obviously, Buckley's the homie. Cool dude. But it's nice to see the old school guys still showing the levels that they have and that they can compete with the best of the best. Now, of course, you got Buckley. That guy was a surging prospect. Still hot prospect, still one of the toughest, baddest dudes out there at 170. I still think potentially a future title challenger if he could bounce back and just close some of the gaps with his grappling. I think he's got all the skills in the world to potentially become a world champion. With that said, let's break down the fight. There were some things that concerned me a little bit. So I got to be honest. Usman fought really, really well, established the jab, did a great job of maintaining the range, striking when he needed to strike, but ultimately the main theme of the fight was look for the takedown, control, and do damage where you can do damage, and try to wear Buckley out. The problem is, even in round 5, Buckley was not slowing down, but the guy who was going for all the takedowns the guy that was on bottom and defending the whole time wasn't nowhere near as fatigued on the physical outlook display for the world to see. He didn't look anywhere near as tired as Usman kind of showed. You could see that he was starting to slow down a little bit, kind of saw it in his face. You saw it in the movement and the reactions, and then you see the reactions, that sounded mad weird. And then you see Buckley, who's still going buck wild in the round 5, throwing haymakers, trying to let that hammer go, pause, and somehow, some way, Usman was able to use his fight IQ, the veteran championship level experience, and to survive round 5 and eventually get the fight to where he wanted it to be again. So all in all, it was a great fight. Both guys fought really, really well. And for Georgia, they put on. This was like the all-black card, which was kind of hilarious to see because me and my boys were talking about it. They're like, yo, is all the brothers on the UFC roster on this card? I just started dying laughing. I'm like, yeah, they mentioned one of them, though. One of them right here, you know what I mean? But it was cool to see a lot of love, especially next to Juneteenth coming up. I don't know if that was by design, but it was cool. I don't know if it's because of the location in Georgia, but it was cool. I'm here for it. So it was nice to see some of the brothers getting some love, and of course in the main event. Again, Usman, for me, I think he still shows some championship experience. Seeing an all-time great like that perform like that, vintage Kamaru Usman, I think it gives you the excitement that he could get back to the title and keep things interested. Because obviously losing and then losing 3 in a row, and then having such a close fight with a guy who's now fighting for the belt in Khamzat Chimaev on short notice. That says a lot. And now he comes and he beats a surging prospect. I think the writing is still on the wall that he has a chance to get back to a UFC title. Now, whether or not he wins it, that's a completely different thing. And again, I'm going to be honest with y'all. There were some moments in that round 5, and I know he was tired. But when a guy is swinging buck wild like that and going Buckley like this, there was some, how can I say this without offending? I want to say there seemed to be a little reactionary issues or concerns, reactionary concerns, where Buckley was throwing the strikes and it just looked like Usman wasn't seeing it or reacting to it with the quick reflexes, the quick twitch muscles, the way that he would have probably in the past. And maybe I just never noticed it in the past, and maybe I'm noticing it now, and it's always been kind of similar to what it is in this past fight. It could be the exact same thing like that. But that is the one thing I have to point out. If I am a fighter breaking down the fight, when I'm throwing strikes at this guy, the way he's reacting to the strikes, like if you throw one, but if you fake and then you throw a couple, in the way that Buckley was kind of going up and down and then starting to launch into these punches. This guy was doing jumping into these shots trying to decapitate this man. So you got to be concerned about that going forward. Obviously, styles make fights. Not everyone's going to be jacked up a diesel and going buck wild like Buckley. But we have to make sure that we pay attention to these things because this is how you can win or lose a fight. The small details. Details. Other than that, I thought it was really good. The timing on those shots, some of them weren't even set up the right way. And when I say the right way, like a super technical setup. It was just like, I'm getting close, I'm faking. That patented Kamaru Usman here, his hands are high, he's coming in, he's faking, boom, boom, sticks the jab, moves his head, makes the mean mug, level changes, and then he just shoots, snatches a single or shoots in for the double leg. Some of them, he didn't really set it up like I'm throwing combinations and then level changing to the shot. There was one where he just launched into Buckley and Buckley just fell over, and I was like, Buckley, have you grappled before? Have you done takedown defense before? And then he got better as the fight went on. But those are just a few things. But yes, I don't know if I really think Usman can become champion again. There's always a possibility. But styles make fights. If he runs into another guy who's explosive and has quick twitch muscles, it could be problematic. But if they don't have grappling, I could see him taking them down and blanketing them. But if you look at it, a guy like JDM might be problematic. But then if he can take him down and control him for 3 to 4 rounds and then survive round 5, there's still a chance he could become champ the same way he did. And if he can have a performance like he did against Buckley. But it's not going to be easy. Again, there is an opportunity. There is a path. Can he fight the right guys? I think he should be fighting Bilal next. I think you give him Bilal, and then these guys can figure it out and see who goes forward, who takes a step back. And it's got a lot of bad blood. This is a fight that a lot of people would want to see just because of all the hype of the trash talk that these guys have been having back and forth with each other. But again, I think Usman has shown a lot of grit, championship level IQ and experience, and going out there and getting a very dominant win. And again, Buckley looked great in rounds 4 and 5 by not slowing down, getting noticeably tired, and still coming after Usman with everything. Didn't get the deflated, debilitated, none of that. He didn't get deterred from trying to accomplish the goal. He was looking for the KO win at any possible moment that he could get it. And that is why I really fucks with Buckley. And that's what makes him really dangerous, man. He's a dangerous guy for any of those guys at 170. He really is. So with that said, I think Buckley still has a chance to become champion as well, or to fight for UFC gold at some point. But he's going to have to close the gaps with the grappling because people are going to be looking to exploit that. And he is, I don't want to say lucky, he's fortunate that he was able to not take as much damage as he probably could have taken by a more dominant grappler in sense of ground and pound. I mean, but at 170, there isn't really too many of those guys. Maybe a Shavkat, but Shavkat's not really a ground and pound specialist. He seems more like a grappler when he takes you down. But this is just food for thought, I guess. More so just talking aloud. I think there are some things that he could clean up and do better. Like any of us, right? Even myself. But with that said, I think he has a really good potential to get to the belt as well. There is a path for him. I mean, who is he going to fight? I mean, I don't know. Maybe an Ian Gary. Maybe that's a good matchup. I don't know who Ian is fighting next for right now. I completely forgot. But there's a path for him to at least get back to the belt, for sure. Now, we have to talk about this. This is an insane reaction. Paul Craig versus Bellato. A lot of people are saying he faked this KO reaction. Now, here it is. I'm watching it on TikTok. He gets up kicked, goes for the ground and pound, up kick, boom. He looks at the ref, turns, and then falls backwards. And then he looks like an outline in the streets. Now, with him being the outline in the streets, somehow, some way, he's a corpse. He just starts to shimmy and wakes up. I'm just like, it looked like one of those snail things where you dump water in it and they just activate. It was the most bizarre thing, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. I think we can all agree with that. Now, I know people are saying I'm an actor. I got my belt from acting, and I was selling it and really pretending to really be hurt and that I couldn't continue. Guys, I legitimately was really hurt. Oh my God. I can't believe we're still talking about this. People still bring this up. At this point, it's just hilarious because I'm like, I don't know what else I need to do to prove to you that I was actually hurt. How do I prove that I was throwing up in the bathroom and had a concussion? This guy, this kick to the head, I don't know. Maybe something caught him by surprise and then shut off the gears. That was really, really wacky to see. Now, I'm not going to say the guy was faking because that reaction, the way he sold everything or did everything, the way his whole body just moved and lit up. I mean, I don't know if anyone can act. If they're acting and you can act that good, that's crazy work. Because that looked spot on. Like, I'm standing up, I'm clapping, I'm giving an ovation. Like, dude, you just sold the hell out of that. I don't know. As he got cracked, he looks at the ref, turns back, and it's like the lights shut off. He goes corpse for like 3 seconds. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Gets up and starts shrimping. The ref comes over and he's attacking his leg, looking to pull guard, and start attacking arm bars and omoplatas. I can't say he was faking for sure. I don't know. That's a tough one to say. It just looked really bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think the world's seen anything like that. But I will say, if there is an acting award, if that is an act, I think this man gets the award. So I'm going to have to give him the award that Piotr gave me because I wasn't even acting. If I was acting, whatever. It was good, though. It was a good fight until that happened. It really was. I was looking forward to seeing how that was going to shake out, especially with Paul Craig was doing pretty well, keeping him at bay. There's Bellato kind of reminded me of a young Santiago Ponzinibbio, the way he was holding his hands and looking to shoot those punches, faking, like a young, crisp, healthy Ponzinibbio. And Paul Craig was doing some good things too, circling away from the power, landing a spinning back kick, good body kicks, and then that whole sequence of just crazy just happened. I just never seen anything like it. It was nuts. With that said, we move on to Malcolm Wellmaker. I don't know if it's Maker or Maker. I think it's Maker. Wellmaker. This guy is a boss. That's 2 fights, back-to-back bonuses, 2 wins. So you got the 100 grand from the 2 bonuses. Of course, you got the 2 fight contract payouts. Whether it's now is 10-10 or 12-12. When I got signed, it was 8-8. So it's either he's 8-8. 10-10 or 12-12 if they bumped it up. Let's just go with the latter and say, or with the better run. Let's say he got the 12-12, so it's 24. So it's 124K, and then if you win, it goes up usually. So let's say it's 14-14. Like, he's doing a really good job after quitting his job, which I was very skeptical of. And I don't want to say skeptical. I was just being very, very protective because I've seen this happen so many times with guys, and I don't want it to happen to a young brother, especially a young black brother. And then people are like, oh, you didn't know what to do with your money and you made money, you blew it all. Like, no one wants to be that guy. So I'm happy he's got another bonus, and I really do hope he's got a smart team around him that's making sure he's putting the money away into certain type of things, investment vehicles, paying his taxes right away. And I know the area that he's from in Augusta it's not as expensive as a New York, maybe not as expensive as a Vegas where I'm living currently. So with that said, I'm just hoping he's doing the right thing and taking care of himself. With that said, crazy knockout. This guy's got huge potential, man. They call him the machine. He's definitely a machine for sure. Ain't the Morale machine, but this is a different kind of machine. This guy touches you and this guy just go down. With that said, I love the setup, man. He kind of reminds me of like, he's like a polished hood ninja. Like the way I'm looking at him, the way he's throwing these punches, is just like, he's going to the body and he's just like, and he's getting in there and he's like, He's throwing these kicks, but it's a cleaner version of that. Like, I was just on the street on Nassau Road hanging out with some of the boys. I drove by and passed, and I wanted to go stop by the liquor store and see if they could pick up my bottle, right? So I want to see if they could pick up the brand. So I'm in there chilling. As I pull up, a couple of boys outside, some of the young dudes, a few years younger than me. They in front of the store just hanging. So I pull up, we talking a little bit, chopping it. And it just kind of reminded me of the young days, like when guys used to scrap in the streets and things like that, or slap box or whatever it was, gang fights. And you see the way these guys are throwing their hands, and they're kind of doing this whole thing. They're pulling up the shorts, hands down here. They're doing all kinds of Philly shell wannabes here. And then when they throw these punches, they're just like, bang. And they really stepping into it, really trying to lay you out. That's what Wellmaker reminds me of. He reminds me of the young dude throwing those hood haymaker punches, but this shit actually has technique. It's not no sloppy, just looking crazy. He's actually here, he's polished, he's moving, he's looking, he's making his reads, and then he's bouncing, he's on his toes. Hard leg kick, boom, hold that. Then he's back on his bike again, he's looking, hard leg kick again, hold that. Then he's coming in, he's faking, and then he's going hard body punch, hold that. And then he's backing out again, and now he's coming, faking the body, he's coming over the top to the head. High level stuff. Crazy power, still a young dude, high ceiling. It's nice to see. Now the dude, I think the dude's now 10-0 after that. So it's cool, man. It's nothing but love for sure. And I'm kind of interested. I'm interested to see where this guy can go and how far he can take it. We don't know what his grappling looks like at all yet. We don't know what his long-term condition looks like, but if he's going to keep knocking dudes and dropping them dead like this, then honestly, who gives a shit, right? I think for now, they could kind of give him that O'Malley, Notorious McGregor type of treatment where you kind of build him up. You give him the opportunity to have these fun fights, guys that he could potentially put away, knock him out, or at least make for a fun fight. And maybe one day he gets to an opportunity where he's going to have to get challenged, or he gets to that top 5, top 10 where he's in the conversation of possibly fighting for a title with 1 or 2 more wins, right? So slowly but surely build him up. And of course, I have to say, he's a brother. I don't know if he's 100% African-American. I don't know if he's Dominican or some shit like that. But regardless, he's a dark-skinned dude. Most guys think he's black. I think he's black. I'm going to have to go do some research. His name is Malcolm. So I think he's a black brother. It's good to have this type of dude who can appeal to that demographic. The same way we have a Georgian that could appeal to the Georgians. The same way you have a Scottish person that appeals to the Scottish people, right? But now you have a black American that can appeal to the black Americans and in a big way and really help grow the sport in our culture, our neighborhoods and things like that versus just being... Because a lot of my friends, they think, yo, it's still a predominantly white sport. A lot of my black friends think, like, black people don't do this. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason, because y'all don't want to do none of that grappling stuff. But hopefully that narrative changes with a kid like this. I think he has all the makings to show people, like, yo, there's some other sports we could do other than basketball and football. And it's nice to see in some of my old schools and things like that, like high school and things, and middle school, you're starting to see other parents, like the people I grew up with, they're starting to shift that narrative and putting their kids in other sports other than basketball and football. There are other things we could do. We can play tennis, we can play soccer, we can go play golf, we can get on the wrestling mats, we can grow and become one of the best in other worlds and get opportunities to go to college and things like that. So with that said, shout out Malcolm Wellmaker, 2 for 2, 2 great bonuses. Young brother, young man. Please make sure you have the right people around you. Please making sure you're taking care of your coaches right out of the gate. You put aside the money that's for you. You put aside the money that's for your coaches. You put aside the money that's for Uncle Sam. And then everything else is yours. But make sure you also put something away for the investment, because that's going to be your out. I'm not saying don't enjoy your money, because I did the same shit. Enjoy your money, King, but at the same time, making sure you're doing the right thing for your future. You could do both. You could be educated and making right moves and still go out there and hang out with all the tomfoolery. That's it. And with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to the gym. I got to go make some runs. Thank you, Johnny McGorry's, and everybody who came out to Eisenhower Park. Thank you for coming out, pulling up, buying some bottles, buying some of the drinks, showing love. It was a pretty penny for us to get set up at this event, but it turned out being a great success even with the rain that came down. And happy to just be back on Long Island for so long. I go back soon. We got Pumi fighting at LFA. I'll be there. Locked in this weekend in Buffalo, New York, and then I'm going to be back in Vegas on the 21st. We got Armando fighting. I forget the name of the promotion, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we go 2 for 2, get 2 big wins, and push these guys further and closer to the dreams of potentially getting to the UFC and changing their lives and making some real money. With that said, stay blessed. I don't think I have anything else. And if you want, funkharborspirits.com. Go check us out, support. We got my 2 little baby bottles right here. Thank you guys for the love. Let's go.